Okay, we are live and recording. Mike, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. Right, thanks for joining me today, and thank you for letting me record your session so everyone can see what's going on and how the sessions go. Okay, so last time we spoke was on the 6th of April of
Mm-hmm.
this year,
Yep.
and I remember, you was in a bit of a bad way. How you
Yep.
doing, man? Catch me up.
Um, I was doing quite well, to be honest, mate. Since we last spoke, I'd got a new job. I'd set myself some extra goals after we'd spoken last time. Got a new job, better financial package, all round would improve my life for myself and my kids, and I was moving in the right direction. That happened end of August this year. Things were going quite smooth till we hit this month, November. I My birthday was coming up. Hadn't heard from her whatsoever between April and what I'm about to tell you. Then on midnight of my birthday, on the 11th of November, I get a private number call exactly at 1 minute past midnight. No one on this earth would ring me apart from her. Yeah, no one in this world. I knew it was her because that's what she used to do when we were together. Obviously, not on a private number, but kind of messed with my head because it woke me up. Was thinking. Probably did something that I shouldn't have done, but I reached out, just asked her how she was the next morning. Got a, and that this is via email. Got a response back within probably half an hour from her, telling me that she's really good. Um, I knew by then I'd done something wrong, so I just said, "Look, I just wanted to know how you were." Again, she was just like, "Happy belated birthday." She acknowledged the fact that it was my birthday. And I said, "Yep, I'm quite happy to just leave things as it is. Just wanted to know if you're okay." Email me back straight away. "Oh, by the way, I hope you're okay. Thanks. Hope the new job's going well." I haven't told her about my new job at all. I don't know how she knew. I asked her, I'm like, "What's all that about?" "Oh, I checked on LinkedIn." I'm like, "Why are you checking on LinkedIn?" "Just being nosy. Just wanted to know how everyone is. That's just me." I'm like, okay. "Have you got a new car?" I'm like, "Yeah. Will you show me?" And I did. She's like, "Oh, that's really good. You seem like you're doing really well." I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then she's like, "Oh, I've met someone. I've had two promotions this year. I've met this guy's parents. I'm in a really good place. Have you got anyone in your life?" And I didn't answer that question. I said, "I've got my kids in my life and I've got my job and stuff. Are you still living at the same place?" Bear in mind, all of these questions were questions she wanted to ask. I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I thought, this is a bit weird. So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you want to catch up sometime, but I'm going to go now." And she was like, "No, I don't think my boyfriend will like that. But it was really good speaking to you. It's really good that we can talk." And that was it. And she went. And it's really, I don't know, everything's just come rushing back. I don't understand why she wants to know so much. I don't know why she's even bothering to look at me on LinkedIn if she's happy in a relationship. Yeah, it's weird. And why? I mean, I didn't quiz her on ringing me on my birthday at midnight, but I know it was her.
Hmm.
There wouldn't be no one else, mate, doing that. They really wouldn't. It's her style, it's her MO. But I just don't understand why she wanted all that information and then she just went. I haven't heard from her since.
So how'd that make you feel?
I don't know, and part of me was like, she's someone else's problem, if that makes sense. Someone else is dealing with it. But another part for me did feel sad. And 50% of me is happy for her. 25% of me was sad. And the other 25% was me was like, if she's so happy, why is she even bothering to know anything about me? What? Yeah, that I don't get.
Okay. If you was to take a guess of why she's, ringing you 1 minute past midnight, and keeping tabs on you on LinkedIn, if you was able to step back from the emotion side of it at the moment and just look at it with pure curiosity, what do you think? What do you think that might mean? What do you think she's up to?
I don't know, mate, because she's a nutter. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't use that term. You don't do that if you're if you're happy. Do you?
Yeah, just for non-UK listeners here, nutter means crazy. It's just like a slang term that we use here, and it can be affectionate or it can be a little less affectionate. I think that particular nutter was somewhere in the middle. Just for clarification there. Well, I mean, I typically encourage people not to get into mind reading, but this is interesting. Definitely about the LinkedIn, the fact that she knew you have a new job and you've got a new car and all that. That's I don't know. Is that her just being curious, or is she being a true nutter? Is this something we have to be worried about? My first thought would be maybe she's just curious, and I would definitely urge that mindset because it can get us into overthinking. But yeah, I agree with you that typically people that are happy in current relationships wouldn't have time to be keeping tabs on their ex.
Right.
So yeah, so it's an interesting thing. So just going back to when we first had a chat, you guys had quite a turbulent relationship.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it was over an 8-year period, wasn't it?
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a number of times that you guys separated. Did she do similar things when you separated? Yeah. In those, so she's got a pattern of behavior here.
She would. We've never gone this long without not getting back together, if that makes sense. Yeah, we've never gone this long. Like, she even said to me, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this too. She even said to me, "So how come it's taken you a year to even think about me?"
Okay, interesting.
And I didn't really answer that question because I didn't really want to. I didn't want to tell her I was missing her because I am, but I also didn't want her to know that I'm trying to get over her and trying to do better for myself, if that makes sense. So I just changed the subject to something else. But she did say it's taken you over a year to get in touch.
And she was refresh my memory, she was the dumper this time, wasn't it?
Say that again? Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So this is quite, I'm not going to say that she is a narcissist, but this is quite narcissistic. It's kind of like, okay, you've created the situation and you're blaming me for it. It's like, so you've ended things with me and you expect me to reach out. That's not what I would call emotionally healthy.
No, but in the past, when it has happened, it's never been like this. This is what I'm trying to say to you. In the past, if we've broken up and stuff, she's done the chasing.
Right.
She's come back. And that's been within either a 3-month period or a 4-month period. It's never been this long. Never been this long.
But was she the dumper in all cases?
On 2 of the occasions, yes.
Okay, on 2 of the occasions, and
they
so
were the proper ones where, you know, like couples, when you're couples and you've been together for a long time, you might have tiffs and it's for a week or 2, and then do you know what I mean? You sort it out.
A fake breakup. Yeah.
But the 2 times that it's happened with the 3-month and the 4-month period, it was always her. Like for a genuine breakup, it was always her.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to get too into it with her, obviously, because like, she's not here to defend herself, and you know, to balance the equation here, I don't know her side of the story from her perspective. So, but at the same time, it would seem there is a lack of emotional maturity from her here. Do you think that's accurate?
What do you mean by that? Sorry, mate.
Well, it's a case of, so she's stalking you on LinkedIn. She's asking about your car. She's finding out all this information about you. She's ended the relationship, and then basically asking why it's taking you so long to reach out, even though she's the one that done a 1-ring call, 1 minute past midnight.
Yeah.
That's something I'd expect, like, a teenager to do.
Right.
So do you think it's fair to say that she's lacking some emotional maturity?
Yes, after what you've just said, yes.
Yeah. Did that ever come up in any other kind of interactions? Like, did you notice over the years, like, oh, okay, that's a bit of a red flag?
I didn't, because I'm not going to lie, I was crazy about her. And like I've said, when we first spoke in April, when it worked well with us, it worked well. We had a lot of good times, and you don't have an 8-year relationship just with someone that's just a fling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There were things that she'd done in that 8-year period, like, I don't know, if she'd gone out with her girlfriends and stuff, and it was late, and I wanted to make sure that she'd got home all right, or she was on her way home. There'll be things like she would say to me, "Oh, I didn't get chatted up tonight," and things like that. And when I'll be like, "Oh, hold on, you don't say that to your boyfriend," it'll be like, "Well, it's not about you, it's about me. So how about how I feel?" So there were things like that. She was quick when I spoke to her. This is all over email last week. Quick to tell me that she's met someone. Quick to tell me that she's met their parents.
And you never asked about that? She just volunteered that information?
Yeah, I never asked.
Yeah.
And did not ask that.
Yeah, man. It's that's the thing. When, just going back to what you said, like, when things were good, they were good. But the problem, the opposite to that, when it was bad, it was bad. And that's the thing, man. Like, the opposite of crazy can still be crazy sometimes. And when something feels good, we can convince ourselves that it's under good, but really underneath that sugar coated exterior, there's like a billion red flags. So do you think that's true? Is that if you take that veneer away, if you take that top layer off, would you say, like, the underneath was, there's a lot of red flags?
Looking back on it, because I'm not in the relationship anymore, obviously the last interaction we've had has brought a lot of old emotions back, which I thought I was over, but obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was flags, but the flags almost at some point for me, I don't know why, outshone the danger. If that makes sense. Like
Mm.
it was there, but she would always come back, and
Yeah.
things would get better after each argument or each difficult conversation, and then we we would be on track again. But then there was always a part of her that would always just like I said, the last time she dumped me was a year ago, and that was just over. I think that was over WhatsApp or whatever, but
Mm.
it was quite final. It was quite firm, and her telling me that she's nosy. I don't believe she's nosy, because if you want to be nosy, you don't go and search someone on LinkedIn. As you know, and I know, you've got to search someone on there.
Yeah, LinkedIn is not as easy as searching someone on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. It's actually, because LinkedIn's not set up for that. It's you can search, but it's a professional page. It's a professional app. So I'm assuming by that you've blocked her on everything else, or you're just not on other social media, and then she's got no access.
No, I am. I'm on Instagram, but only
Yeah,
recently, for the last 6 months. But that's Instagram is just to show the world that I'm all right. There's
yeah.
stuff on there like about me and my kids, like when we've gone out, or we went out to celebrate my birthday, and we went out for a meal or whatever. It's just to show. I've got a
Mm.
couple of close family members on there, a couple of old colleagues I've worked with, just to keep in touch and see what they're up to. I'm up to. She's not on there. I don't know whether
Mm.
she's viewed me on there or not. She's blocked on WhatsApp. She can't WhatsApp me. She can't text me. But again, she's doing all this. So what's her boyfriend doing?
That's a good question. It's a good question, but at the same time, I think I've asked you this question a few times. Is this worth your time? I think that's what it really comes down to. But we can get into that a little bit, a bit more, a bit later.
Mm.
What I want to ask is that when you did receive that call 1 minute after midnight,
Yeah.
what was going through your head, or how was you feeling when? Okay, I'm going to email her. I'm going to say, hey, what's
Because
going on? So what happened there?
what happened there was, it was coming up to my birthday. November's not a great month for me anyway, in
Mm.
terms of, because last year when she broke up with me, it was around the same time, very
Yeah,
close to my birthday.
yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah. And then the following week after my birthday is my old man's birthday, but he's passed away. So
Oh, mate, I'm sorry.
it's all right. So it's a tricky period.
Yeah, definitely.
She knows that. She knows that. She knows
Mm.
that. So last year was very, very sucky in terms of,
Mm.
she dumped me then, shit birthday. This year, I did, like, I'm seeing someone, but I'm not seeing someone, if that makes sense at the moment. Like, we're just getting to know each other. We've had a few
Mm.
coffee dates. We've gone to crazy golf. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And she surprised me, actually. Like, I was meant to drop something round her flat, and then this lady had done like all these nice things for me and got me some presents and stuff. So it was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. It was very unexpected, but it was nice. So I was feeling quite, do you know what I mean, good. Come
Mm.
back to my place, just got into bed, said good night, got going to sleep, phone goes off, look at the time. I know who it is. I'm not dumb.
Mm.
Part of me was like, shit, what? I didn't answer it, because if I'd answered it, she would have spoke. She acted so cool and calm the next day, like it didn't happen. I didn't bring it up. She didn't bring it up. But I knew it was there. Part of me was like, what the fuck? And part of me was like, shit, she still cares. And then I went to sleep thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it, and I thought,
Mm.
I don't know what it was, but there's something in me made me email her and ask if she's okay. And that's all I asked. Hey, are you okay?
So why didn't you ask her about the phone call?
I don't know why I didn't ask her about the phone call, because I almost think I'm 99.9% sure, and I could be wrong because there's that 1%. She would have denied it. It's not me. Because she does that.
Yeah,
she's done it in the past where she's lied.
Yeah, yeah, okay, and I'll accept your view on that. Obviously, you've got more. You know her way better than I do. I mean, I don't know her at all, but you know her. You know the situation way better than me. But I would say by not asking, you definitely won't know now, because by doing that. See, that can be. So it's kind of like, okay, I get that you've got patterns of behavior from the past. You've said that she's lied to you in the past, and that's her MO. But at the same time, could it be? Excuse me. Could it be that you didn't ask because you didn't? Maybe you were scared of the answer.
Yeah.
Because do you think that could be true? Yeah. So that's I think maybe something that you might need to work on, because that's avoiding that kind of conflict. And I get it. I used to be like the ultimate person that would avoid all conflict at all costs, because my anxiety was just through the roof. And I totally get where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. But when we don't confront these kind of things, we say, hey, why did you say that? And hey, why did you do that? That is we're avoiding the pain. We're avoiding the pain of what the answer might be. But the fact is, the answer might have just been completely benign. It might have just been, oh, look, I just wanted to say happy birthday. It was the off chance I thought you'd answer. That could have been the answer. The other answer, and admittedly, the most likely answer, was like, oh, no, that wasn't me. Especially if it's from a private number. But I would say, if anything like this comes up again in any part of your life, just say, hey, man, was that you? Why did you do that? And at least you might as well take the shot, because you've already got the answer is only what it can be in your head, and that projection of the answer is much better to actually go and get that information and to have the evidence to say, right, okay, well, this is what happened. And I think that might actually help you more in the future, if that makes sense.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, part of me was actually, I don't know why, but part of me was quite happy to hear from her, to get her replies. And part of me was like, what the fuck is this girl doing?
Okay, so let's look at that. Why was you happy to hear from her?
Because I haven't heard from her for over a year, as she said. Yeah. I do still think about her now and then. Yeah. And when I think I must have messaged you on YouTube where we've
a few times. We've spoken a few times since then on YouTube. Yeah.
And when I've said I'm doing all right, I've got a new job, and then we bounced off a few messages, and man, I was in a really good place. I really was. Like, the future was looking really bright. Yeah. I didn't really need her to get in contact. I did. I do miss her. That's evident, and that's hit me again. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
So part of me was quite relieved to hear from her, and part of me wasn't. Part of me what doesn't understand, and I probably never will understand, is if you're so happy, why are you? I mean, she even asked if I was seeing someone. Like I said, she asked that. Is there a woman in your life?
So let me ask you this: why does that require any kind of understanding?
What do you mean?
So, right, you said you'd never understand why.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it need an answer? Do you need an answer to that?
Well, I would like to know why she's asking these questions and what she wants. Yes, because you don't just I don't go around someone who I haven't spoken to in 2 years or a year and start asking them random questions that are quite not personal, but that have information on what they're doing in their lives. I don't do that. I don't think that's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, I get that, and I would agree. And in that context, I guess you and I have a very similar worldview, but that's me and that's you, and we'd have different worldviews on different things. So what I'm saying is that, you know, what we can run the risk of doing is projecting what we think onto the situation, or this is what I would do. The fact is, it doesn't matter what you and I would do. That's irrelevant. What is relevant is like, okay, am I going to let this take up any of my time? And that's what, especially so for anyone, but I think I'd say especially for a man, the most important thing to a man is his time, because, you know, we have to get out there and, you know, build stuff and you know, be creators and that kind of thing. And so do women as well. But, you know, on a biological level, our men's typical role in most walks of life is being a provider, being a protector, that kind of thing. So we and especially for your kids, you know, and for yourself, you've got to be getting busy doing that. So that's what I meant by that question. Does this require any understanding? Because what I mean by that, is this worth your time? Is it worth your time trying to say, okay, what does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? The fact is, doesn't have to mean it could mean something. Absolutely. It could mean that she's not over you. It could mean that things with her new boyfriend aren't going as well. And if you ask me to put money on it, if you ask me, okay, Nick, okay, put your house on this, I could quite happily say, yeah, I would say, given the evidence, that she, like her new life probably isn't going the way she wants it. But the other part of that, I would say, right, okay, let's not mind read. Let's not put anything into it. The situation is what it is. And what we can run the risk of is projecting our preferred outcome onto the situation. Because I think if we was to really peel it back based on what you told me, because obviously you still miss her, and that's okay, and you felt validated by her reaching out, and, you know, a preferred outcome somewhere deep down in your soul somewhere might be, oh, hey, Mike, I made a mistake. I still love you. I want you back. Do you think that could be true?
Potentially, yeah. Possibly, yeah.
I love the sound, by the way.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, that's okay. No, so yeah, and I think it's important to, you know, ask these questions, and it's not like trying to catch you out, like, haha, I know, you know, it's just to get you to look at the situation a bit more objectively, because this new lady that you're seeing that sounds like a wonderful woman and she's doing all these nice things for you, maybe you're not emotionally ready for that, and that's okay. Right? It's okay. It's okay if you're not quite ready for that. The only thing I would encourage you to do, if that is the case, and this is something you have to answer by yourself, is actually taking responsibility for that and actually telling this new lady, hey, look, I'm enjoying our time together, but I'm not quite there yet. You know, so that's, you know, and I think at the moment you're sort of caught between the old you and this new person that's coming out. I think you're sort of caught in the middle at the moment. And, you know, your ex, you know, clandestinely, is that the word? Clandestinely reaching out, with a private number, hasn't helped your cause at all. But then again, here's the thing, and this is the thing I'm going to challenge you on. You know, you had a choice to either, right, screw that. I'm on my purpose. I'm doing all these great things. I'm working on me. I'm healing me. Or do I potentially reopen the old wound and reach out? And I think the reason we're having this conversation right now is because of option number 2.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's okay, man. That's okay. No judgment or anything. It's just like, okay, it's just worth it. Okay, what happened, and can I prevent that from happening again? And here's the thing: the old you, and I actually left on my notes the last time that we spoke, and I've put in big capital letters, he is too nice. And I've got it in, and I've got like 4 exclamation marks after it. So the nice guy of you
Mhm.
Did you read Did you read More, Mr. Nice Guy? By the way, did you go through it? Did I keep
No,
that?
I'm in the
Yeah.
middle of I'm in the middle of reading The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Right, the subtle art I've never given for.
Yeah.
Okay, after you finish that, get on No More Mr. Nice Guy. Yeah,
Okay.
trust me, game
Okay.
changer.
Yeah.
So you've got like this old version of you that is clinging on to dear life because
Mhm.
that's what your identity that's your identity. And here's the thing: when we challenge our identities, or when someone threatens our identity, we will go down swinging. We will literally die to protect it.
Yep.
And yeah, so now like this new version of you starting to come out and starting to assert yourself. So, okay, a bit more confident, better job, spending more time with your kids, being a better father, being a better man, just becoming a better all-round person. And this old you is like just it's clinging on like a tumor that just doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
And I think the day that you finally cut that out and you bury it, things like this won't bother you so much anymore. Because if she does reach out, if she does send a weird text or a weird email, or she tries to call you, you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm too busy for this shit. I'm on my purpose. It was fun. The 8 years were, they were great. It's part of my story. But that chapter's done now, and I'm now writing a new chapter, or I've actually just started writing a new book of my life, and I'm getting out there, man. And I think that's where you are. You're just sort of at that crossroads. And I've done videos on breakup relapses before, and trust me, I had about 7 of them. I think over like a course of probably just over a year, maybe 18 months. I
Yeah.
had various breakup relapses where I'd be doing fine, and my ex didn't even reach out. But one day I would just wake up and I was like, "Oh, I feel like I'm on day 1 of the breakup again," and that's a tough day because you get angry and frustrated with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm doing all this work and I'm still thinking about this. What Come on.
Yeah. I know what you mean. 100%. And
Yeah,
that's probably what's happened last week. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it's definitely reopened an old wound there. And
Yeah.
but here's the thing: given what you know,
Mhm.
given the various chats that you and I have had,
Mhm.
and the education that you're giving yourself, and like you can actually start seeing the red flags, would you take her back if she phoned you right now and said, "I love you and I want you back"? Would you take her back?
If I did, it would have to be on my terms. And if it wasn't
Mhm.
on my terms, then she could jog on.
Okay, what would those terms be?
Those terms would be that she would have to stop all these games, and she
Mm.
would have to go serious. Because before she left me originally, I don't know if I mentioned this last time we spoke, we've spoken about long term marriage. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And and goals in life and plans to move on and stuff. And again, when we had this little email conversation, she asked, "Oh, are you still living at the same place? Have you moved? What's your plans?" And this everything that we discussed, she wanted to know.
Mm.
I didn't give too much information. I said yes, I got a new job and I got a new car, and I showed her. That was it. I didn't divulge into anything else in terms of plans or goals. I just said my life's going in the right direction.
Mm.
So if anything, anytime, anything like that would have to happen, it would have to be on my terms, and
Yeah.
it would have to be built around my life and everything, and none of this, cut this shit out like in games or whatever. God knows what she's doing now, but I feel sorry for the guy she's with
Mm.
because she's ringing me up on my birthday at midnight.
Yeah. And I think that tells you everything that you need to know. That it would appear that she probably hasn't done any work on herself.
No, and this is
She,
what I was going to mention to you. She's gone into this new relationship. She's met this guy straight after dumping me.
yeah,
I know, I can tell.
Yeah, man. So it says quite a lot, doesn't it? So I would say that in this context, now you're starting to have boundaries for yourself and say, hey, right, look, this is what I would like from a relationship.
Yep.
Now you're starting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You may have just like moved beyond her level, and even if she did come back right now, I don't think she could do any of those things that suggest. Yeah, I got tongue tied. Suggested. Because it's not an unreasonable thing, because you can say, well, look, I've been working on myself. I've taken the feedback. I've been trying to level up. I'm not perfect. I've still got work to do, but I'm owning it. I'm taking care of it. I'm not blaming anybody, and I'll get it sorted. But I would expect the same from my potential partner, because a healthy relationship is this, and most people get this wrong. I'll say 95% of all couples get this wrong. And I've even got, hands up, I've certainly got this wrong in the past, is where they try to fix each other and they outsource their bullshit to the other person. But to a healthy relationship, a truly healthy relationship, would be both parties fix their own stuff. Now, it could be a case of, look, hey, I need a hug every now and then. I need you to be my cheerleader, but I will fix it. It's not for you to fix, it's for me to fix. I will deal with it. And what a lot of people will do, typically speaking, in a lot of relationships, you've got the person that creates the drama, and then you've got the fixer. And typically speaking, I'd say maybe 70% of the time, the fixer is the man, because we're sort of programmed. We're programmed to analyze and be more logical and to fix stuff. Mm-hmm. Not to say that that dynamic does not reverse. Sometimes it does, but and then the other party will create the drama to get attention, to get access to you. Will create the drama, and then you would find validation by fixing that drama, and that is codependence. That is a recipe for disaster. Does that sound like that might have happened?
Yeah, she liked drama.
Yeah,
she did like drama, like whether it was with me and her or like with her friend circle. She would always, everything was about her. How she would feel, how she would look, how she would dress. It was always about her. Oh, I dress a certain way to make myself look good. I want to feel good. And there would always be drama with her friends, so-called friends she's fallen out with. Obviously, when you're a couple, you talk and you find things out, and etc., etc., etc. Everything was always about her in terms of that. And then it was always me saying, well, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, whatever. But yeah, that's very much like how she was.
I'll give you some advice on that, man. Try not to do that in any walk of life. Try not to, unless someone specifically requests you to give you advice. Don't do it, because a lot of the time, one, it's not your problem. It's not your problem to fix. So her friends are not your issue. Sure, you can listen. You can validate. Yeah, that sounds tough. Yeah, I hear you. I understand. Yeah, I'd be frustrated as well. Yeah, that's really annoying. You say, oh, really? She did that? Wow. That kind of thing. And just listen. Because I used to fall into this trap all the time. Oh, maybe you can do this and maybe you can do that. And it's like, no, Nick, you're not listening to the situation. I was like, hey, I'm listening. I'm just trying to apply some logic to the fucking thing. But a lot of the time, they don't want logic. They just want to be heard. And that's fine. So what I try and do now, and I encourage everybody to do this. Hey, do you just want me to listen, or do you want my advice? Yeah, ask the question.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's not your problem to fix. It's her problem. But the crazy thing is, it would seem that she seems to validate herself through drama, and then she probably never takes any kind of responsibility. She's probably the hero in her own story all of the time. And It's like, oh, guess what so and so did the other day, and guess what this person said, and it wasn't me. I was just like, I was just offering some advice, and she went crazy. Does that sound like? Does that sound familiar? Is that something that she would do?
Potentially.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's been a year since I've actually been in her circle or whatever. But
Yeah.
there was always, it's not me, it's them kind of thing with anything.
Yeah. So that's a complete lack of responsibility. Now, again, in my younger years, I kind of used to do that. Well, no, I'm the hero in my own story. But what I encourage people to do now, and again, try to practice what I preach, no matter what happens, no matter if someone does something to you that's horrific, or you're the one that fucked up, just own it and take responsibility. And I'm not saying that you don't do this already. It's just some like life advice. No matter what happens, take responsibility, because ultimately you are choosing all the time. You are always choosing. Okay, do I call her or do I not call her? Do I email her or do I not email her? If she texts, do I reply? And if she does text, how do I reply? It's always a choice. Okay, that's your responsibility. That's her responsibility. That's my responsibility. Everybody's responsibility. But when you've got people, and this is where this is definitely something I try to screen out now. Like, especially if I'm on a date or something, and I try to screen out, and they're constantly blaming their exes or they're constantly blaming their friends and family. I'm like, wow, you've got no responsibility. No one is that much of a victim. No one is. That's just, it's like, well, butter wouldn't melt in my mouth kind of thing. Yep. And I particularly don't find that kind of trait in a potential partner attractive. So maybe that's something when you are dating and getting back out there. Well, you kind of are now. That's something to watch out for. Okay, does this person actually take ownership of their bullshit?
I see what you mean.
Yeah, because it's not for you to fix. But would I be right, and I'm just taking a stab in the dark here, would I be correct in assuming that when you come across women that have got problems like that, do you find it more attractive as like, there's something I can fix?
It's not. That doesn't come into my mind as something I can fix. What comes into my mind, which is probably the same thing of what you're saying, is maybe I can help them.
Yeah,
I'm always happy to help. And if I'm in a relationship, looking back at a relationship, even with her in the 8 years, like, can you drop me to work? Can you drop me to an interview? Do you know what I mean? I will always be happy to do that. Can you pick me up from so and so? And like, I'll give you an example. Not once, I don't think she ever picked me up from somewhere. I remember I came back from back home because my old man passed away. I had to go and do his ashes, right? And I was in another country and we were WhatsApping, and she's like, "Oh, when did you get back? Airport. I might be able to pick you up, right?" I thought that was nice. Pick me up from the airport. I'm coming back. Get to see her, whatever. Did it happen? Nah.
No. Yeah,
always something came up. Always something would come up.
Yeah. Man. It's I come across this a lot. This happens a lot. So you're not alone here. And so look. So here's the thing. Like, you seem to derive happiness, fulfillment, and validation through acts of service to people that you care about, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I get the same kind of thing. I mean, like talking to people like you gives me a lot of fulfillment, gives me a lot of validation because I'm useful, and that's okay. Yeah, but it's a little bit different in this dynamic because this is more of a coachee kind of, it knows exactly what it is. It's coachee kind of situation. When it's your romantic relationships, if you're being too nice, if you're not setting boundaries, and if you're not saying, hey, look, I would like if you did X, Y, and Z, You're never going to get that. So what's happening there? Okay, what can happen? We can get stuck in to the pattern of doing acts of service for that person, because it's kind of like, look, if I'm, it's what is known as a covert contract, and this comes up in the No More Mr. Nice Guy book. It's a covert contract. If I meet your needs, then you'll meet my needs. So if I do acts of service for you, I will get it back, because what we need the most. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. What we put out into the world is what we need the most. So a good example for me, it's listening to people and having these kind of conversations. I put that out into the world because sometimes that's what I need the most. Sometimes I need someone just to sit down, shut the fuck up, and just listen to my shit. And if I need advice, please give it to me. But I typically find that wanting in certain parts of my life, because I'm the one typically giving advice. And that's why I have a therapist. And that's why I have mentors and coaches and stuff like that, because that's what I need sometimes. So does that sound like that might be the pattern that you've had?
Yeah.
And what do you feel? And how does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm quite a I don't know how to describe it. I'm quite, I don't know. I like to help people, yeah. Even in the job, even normal, like neighbours, whatever. If I can help someone, or if I see someone in, like, I don't know, someone's broken down or they need a hand or something, whatever. If I can do something physically within my limit, with my, you know what I mean, I will try and help.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I'm in a romantic relationship with them or not. I will try and help, because that's just me. That's my first instinct, is to help. If I'm in a relationship with someone and I can see, yeah, you're right, that's what I would go and do.
Yeah, and that's okay. You're a good human being, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, it's okay to say, no, I'm putting myself first now.
Yeah.
Because to get what you want out of life, to be a better man, to be a better father, a better partner, husband, whatever you want to call it, a better son, brother, uncle, cousin, you have to put you first. Your needs have to come first. It's counterintuitive because we're not taught that. We're taught, oh no, always sacrificing yourself. So what can happen? You can literally throw yourself on your sword for a relationship, and then it can look like, well, what did you do that for? Why did you throw yourself in yourself? I never asked you to do that. You're just pathetic. I'm not saying you are pathetic. I'm just, metaphorically kind of thing. But if you've got strong boundaries, you're saying, right, okay, this is what I will help with. This is what I will not help with. And when I ask for help, I'm going to ask for it. And if I don't get what I need, then okay, maybe I need to rethink this. So again, there's a fine line between being there for your partner and, okay, family bereavements, disasters, little exercises, picking each other up, that kind of thing. That's fine. But when it comes to the emotional bullshit and like other things, like a good thing that, a popular thing that will come up, having trouble at work with the boss or a work colleague or whatever, the last thing you should be doing is offering solutions. What you should be doing is keeping your mouth shut, listening and validating. Oh yeah, I hear you. If I was in that situation, I'd be really frustrated too. Oh wow, that's crazy. So how did that make you feel? Yeah. And nine times out of 10, your partner will be so grateful that you just listened and not try to fix it, because a lot of time after you listen, they will just go and fix it themselves anyway. But there are times that you do have to step in. If like, I don't know, they put on 20 kilos or 50 pounds in a couple of months, or they've got a drinking problem, or they start abusing drugs and stuff, then okay, sometimes an intervention is required. But it's still on them to go and fix it. They've still got to go and do the rehabilitation. A good example, Mike, you've reached out to me today because you need help. Yeah. You're owning it. Yeah. That is such a powerful thing to say, hey, I'm not feeling okay right now. I need to speak to someone. That's okay. And that means you're developing self-awareness. And that, my friend, is the most powerful tool you'll ever have in life, is self-awareness. And when you do have self-awareness, you start seeing everybody else's bullshit a lot quicker, and those red flags are a lot brighter because, like, oh, okay, been here before, ain't for me. And that's the thing, man. So getting back to your original thing about the phone call, and it just put you back 10 steps. Now, there's two ways you can deal with it. You can sit there, let it consume you, and you lick your wounds, or you can say, right, okay, I will take responsibility for my actions. I will take responsibility for how I feel. Okay, I had a moment of weakness. It was the wrong decision, but at least I know I'm still okay. I'm still here. Still got my good job. Still got my nice car. I've still got my beautiful kids. I've got a roof over my head. There's food in my belly. The lights are on. The bills are paid. I'm doing all right. You're doing just fine. I want you to know that you're doing just fine. And comparing our first conversation to now, okay, you've hit a bump in the road, and that's okay. My friend, you are a lot better, and you're doing a lot better, and you should be proud of that.
Thanks, mate. That means a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm just telling you, Mike. I will always tell you the truth, man. I will always tell you the truth, and you are. You the fact that you're here, you've been. I think you've been a lot more open on this conversation. You've been a lot more vulnerable in this conversation. That demonstrates true growth, and you've been a lot more honest with yourself in this conversation. Yeah, and that means the old version of you is on its way out. Good. Let that version of you go, because that version of you doesn't work anymore. This new version that's coming out, that's the man that's got the future, that's got the bright future. Yeah. So nurture that version of you. Get out there, man. Start doing, crazy stuff, or even doesn't even have to be crazy stuff. It can just be, all right, I'm going to go for a walk and listen to an audio book, or I'm just going to sit down and read my book. I'm going to reconnect with family members that I haven't spoke to, or reconnect with friends. I'm going to actually put a bit more effort into this lady that's actually giving me a ton of time. So let's just speak about this new lady. How much do you like her?
Yeah. She's a good girl, mate. The time we've spent together. I mean, she doesn't want to rush into anything. Yeah. She's had a few bad experiences. Yeah. Dating and stuff. So we're not rushing into anything. We've seen each other a couple of times. We've been out for some drinks, been out for dinner, crazy golf,
Sounds nice.
Yeah, we chat. She's on a good level. What you see is what you get. There's no hidden agenda. But again, she's a woman, and sometimes certain things aren't logical to her, but we actually talk things through, or we have an understanding in terms of where we both stand and stuff. I can't knock her for anything.
Yeah, that's good, man. And let's say what I don't want to get into the habit of is like, like women are not logical. I get what you're saying. It's different side. It's the yin and the yang. The fact is, women are more emotional. That's just biological, and the reason they're more emotional, more nurturing, that's because that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to, be good, nurturing, mothers, and that's ultimately what their biology is geared towards. Is to be right. Okay, I need to be a good mother, and I need to be nurturing towards that, and that's the yin, and our yang is bringing that maybe a bit more of an analytical side of it, but we can bring the logic. They can bring the feeling, and we bring the two together. They balance out, So sometimes men, we have to be in our feminine sometimes, and sometimes women have to be in their masculine. But men have to be in their masculine 80-90% of the time, and women should be in their feminine 80-90% of the time. And sometimes we have to swap roles. Sometimes we have to say, okay, darling, look, I hear you. I'm here. I'll hug you and all that kind of thing. And sometimes a woman had to say, man the fuck up. You're better than this.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would want in whoever my wife might end up being in the future. I don't want someone that's just going to roll over. I want someone that's going to, right, is going to be a partner in crime, is going to be an equal, can debate me and not get butthurt about me. And if I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing as a man, she will call me on it. Right, Nick, you're not taking care of this. I'm here for you, but take care of it. Because sometimes we do need that. We do need that verbal slap, and vice versa. I'm like, right, okay, you're not taking care of your bullshit. Come on, let's do it. I'll go with you. Look, I'll hold your hand. I'll hug you. I'll go with you. But you've got to do this. So, going back to this new lady, have you told her anything about what we've discussed?
What do you mean, my ex?
Yeah, anything, like where you are emotionally, how you feel about it. Have you had that? Does she know anything about
that? She knows about my ex. She doesn't know about what she doesn't know what we discussed. She doesn't know the fact that I got that phone call. She doesn't know that there's been email exchanges. She doesn't know. No.
Okay, man. What I'm gonna set you a challenge, and whether you do it or not is down to you. I can't make you do it, but this will be a sign of your true growth, and it's taking ultimate responsibility. If you are anywhere semi-serious or serious about this woman, and dating if dating does continue, I would sit down with her and just say, right, look, this is where I am, and this is where I am, because I'm still, working a few things out. But I'm taking care of it. And yeah, I want to take it slowly too. And trust me, she'll have a lot more respect for you if you show a bit of vulnerability and say, hey, I like what we're doing. I want to take it slowly as well. But if things do develop, you need to be aware of this. But at the end of it, I don't need you to fix me. I don't want you to fix me. I'm taking care of it. And that, my friend, is sexy. That is confident. That is attractive. That is a man taking care of business. But at the same time, showing a bit of femininity and showing a bit of vulnerability, but still being positive in the masculinity. And if you can do that, I think that would be the true, well, not a true sign, but like a big stepping stone to your development. Saying, right, okay, I'm not going to be worried about what my ex is doing. Fuck that phone call. Screw what she's doing. I'm focusing on here and now. Because here's the thing, Mike. Yesterday was never here and tomorrow will never arrive. You have today and today only to get things done, basically. So be here, be now. And focus on she's gone. Yeah? Let her go with the old version of you. And I promise you, it won't go down without a fight. It will go down screaming and kicking, and it will try and dig itself out. But if you can bury it, trust me, this new guy that's coming out, I'm excited to see where that goes. Yeah? You'll do some damage, man. I promise you, you'll do good things. Do you think? Cool. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely have a conversation with her, and I can definitely tell her.
Yeah.
But I've not hid anything from her. If that makes sense. She knows about the situation with my ex. I haven't told her about the current situation, but she knows the history. I don't. Yeah. I don't hide things from people. I'm quite genuine like that. So yeah. When we started going dates, you know what I mean? Obviously, you go back and forth with your experiences, and do you know what I mean?
So, yeah, absolutely. Have you got plans to see her soon?
Tuesday, mate. We're going to probably go and watch the football. England, England. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you're talking regularly. You're texting regularly.
Yeah. Well, before I came on the call, she was going out for a work meal. I had a bit of a headache. She asked me if I'm all right, if I've eaten. I might see her tomorrow. I don't know.
I mean, look, if you feel that good things could develop with this woman, then have the conversation. If you feel that you're not ready, well, you still need to have the conversation. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Either way, man. Just say, right, okay, this is where I am, and I promise you, you'll get far more respect, and you'll probably get a lot more of what you want.
Okay.
Okay, man. So before we wrap this up, any last questions?
Yeah, it's just one really, mate. Which is probably going back to my ex. Her birthday's coming up in December, and New Year's is coming up as well. She's got a history. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but she has a history, not of me contacting her on her birthday or her contacting me, but she's got a history of Happy New Year. How are you? Always on New Year's Eve, and then giving me some bullshit news. I've slept with someone else. I've done this. I've done that. Now, because we've had this contact a couple of weeks ago, or last week, sorry, around my birthday, and like I said, she said, "Oh, it was really good. It's really nice that we can talk, and it's really good to hear from you after a year." I think she'll be expecting contact on her birthday or New Year's or Christmas.
Fuck her, let her burn.
All right.
I mean that metaphorically. But look, man, it's boundaries time. If she reaches out and says Happy New Year, if you want to respond, you can be a human being about it. Say, yeah, Happy New Year, match her level. But if she starts getting into, hey, what you've been up to and all that kind of thing, and you know what that's going to do to you mentally, then you just need to say something like, hey, look, I appreciate you reaching out, but this does not work for me. Please don't contact me. Boundaries. Yeah. And that is part of letting the old version of you die, is by having boundaries. So that's going to be the thing, man. So look, I would say, given that the emotional turmoil this most recent contact has caused, do you want to go back? I'd say not. So
no, I didn't like last week, mate, and that's why I reached out, because it made me feel funny that I haven't felt like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, don't let her get in the way of your progress. Okay, anything. If you've got something in your life that's not adding to your life, or even is neutral to your life, then it's detracting from your life. So you've got to be right. Okay, if you're not bringing anything to the table, then you're not welcome at the table. Go away.
Okay.
Now, that means there will be less people in your life, but the people that are in your life will be of far higher quality. And that's what you want. Look, over the last 2.5 years, I've cut a tremendous amount of people out of my life, but the people that are left are people that I genuinely fucking care about and love. Yeah. That means my family, my best friends, just general people, people that are good human beings. That's
good people.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not just there to get something out of me. These are the people that will randomly just say, hey man, how you doing? How's life? Yeah. Those kind of people that just reach out. Yeah. Or if I'm having a bad day, Nick, I'm on my way around, or come over, we'll grab a pizza. Those are the people you keep around, not those ones that just randomly phone you up, suck you dry, and then you don't hear from them again. No, get rid of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. Look, I hope you're feeling better, and I hope you got what you needed from this chat.
Yep.
And yeah, man, you're doing fine. You're doing just fine, man. Put the boundaries in place. Keep working on yourself. You're gonna get there, and trust me, there's better. There's someone better out there for you. Just got to be open to the possibility. You just got to be open-minded towards it, and you'll be fine.
All right, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks for the call and giving me the opportunity. And we'll probably upload this next week sometime, and I'll let you know when it's done. It might be like next Monday or Wednesday or something like that. Yeah, man. And look, if you do need more support, look, the channel's there. Drop me an email, or the Facebook group is there if you wanted to join that. So yeah, just keep doing your thing, man. You'll be fine.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate your help,
man. You're welcome. Have a good evening. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.